guess the first question was, as long as I know you.
You didn't know the story of my name.
Nakia, and I had no idea of the story behind you. Now I do.
Sure. Okay, so in 1974 on ABC, they ran this television show called Nakia, and it ran only for just a few months. But the few months that it ran, my parents watched it religiously, and in doing so, they just really liked the name. And the show itself, it had like Telly Savalas as a guest star. Sometimes it'd have Linda Carter on, and it kind of jump-started their careers. But Robert Forster played this deputy sheriff who every episode struggled to uphold the laws of the land while maintaining his Native American spiritual beliefs, and my parents named me after that show. They named my brother after a Zorro, the Zorro character, Don Diego. They named my sister after a Betty Davis movie. So they're kind of like pop culture hippies. And they swear they didn't smoke any pot, but I seriously doubt it.
Hooking up with some of the greatest musicians in Austin. One of your first gigs here was as part of the Small Stars.
That's right.
Zuniga.
Yeah.
Fastball, and you really just fit right in.
Yeah, that whole thing happened so quickly. With that, those guys all were seasoned pros. Whether it was Miles from Fastball, or we got people from the New Bohemians and the El Orbits and Little Captain Travis and all these great bands, players that have been around for years. And then I was introduced to so many other people. That's when I started meeting Carolyn Wonderland and all these other people who I had so much respect for, listening to them on the radio, and now I'm meeting them and getting to sit in with them, and wow, it blew me away. I was very humbled by all of it.
Well, you've got a big, bold sound on the EP and the CD, and you take that big, bold sound with those big, full arrangements, and you bring it to the stage.
That was pretty tough for me because I had always been either a solo artist or I'd been like a featured guy. Like with the Small Stars, they just had me pop on and pop off. And so with this new band, I was the band leader, and I had to put together these people to recreate that big sound. And almost immediately, the first thing that I wanted to do was pull in the best players possible. But then we also pulled in the Fresh Up Girls, and had to help to add and round out the backing vocals and things. And I think we've done a really good job of recreating it. We don't have the horns all the time. Sometimes we do. Tonight we'll have a little horns. But man, we're lucky that the players are so good. We have Johnny V on bass, longtime player with Gingerbread Man and Bob Schneider and all these great bands. We have Derek Morris on keys. Played with everybody. Ed Jarosinski from Gondaya, of course the Fresh Up Girls, and they have their own projects on the side, and they either all teach music or they have studios of their own. To me, it's a real blessing to have the Southern Cousins backing me up, and I couldn't ask for anything more, really.
One of the first times a lot of people got a chance to see you was the Austin City Limits Music Festival. Of course, you had your own thing. But
that's right.
Sharon Jones, the Cat Kings, she pulled you up on stage.
Yeah, I still get goosebumps. I'm thinking about it. It's like,
how did that all come about?
Man,
it's all over YouTube.
Sure, it is. She was one of the people that I knew I wanted to see during the ACL Festival. And the way that C3 makes that work is you got to show up early. If you have the little pass to get backstage, they give you these cards and you're waiting. And I still have, because they forgot to take it back from me, the King of Spades card they gave you to hold on to. And they sent me up, and I stood right there. And I remember Eli Paperboy Reed was standing beside me. He couldn't stay. He had seen her a bunch already, so he was going to go play his show. He saw the beginning of the thing, and then when he walked away, she goes into How Do You Let a Good Man Down, and immediately she says, "Is there anybody here that knows if security's going to be too rough? I need to get somebody up here. Don't flip out. I need somebody on the stage. Who's going to be on stage with me?" And I just put up my hand, and started waving it like this, and she looked around, and you guys remember, there's like 25,000 people in front of her. She looks around, and she looks up like that, and she goes, you come down here right now. And there's actually, C3 has video of somebody had a camera backstage, and they zoom in on me, and you could see me. I felt like I was gliding down the steps, but it's like, and as I'm running around the stage, you know, and later on I find out this is something she does kind of often. She pulls people up, and I'm thinking, you know, later I think she thought I was probably just going to be this other guy, but as soon as I hit that stage, you know, it's like boom, I turned on to this crowd and to her, and as she told me later, it was like this electric reaction, you know, that we both were working off of each other. And when you watch the video, you can see like she'll follow me this way and I'll go back this way, and we ended up backward and forward in each other's face. After that was done, I remember going back and seeing Andy Langer in the press area, and Andy was like, what happened? And so they pulled me aside, and Andy was just about to do her interview, and of course he brought it up to her, and then she had, at that point, had my CD, and she and I talked and made friendly, as they say, made friendly, I guess, whatever. And I said, you know, next time you come to town, we should do this for real, you know, not like surprise, but we should set it up, you know. And so I was very fortunate that a month later, the night before the election, they were in town for a benefit for the Democratic Party, and I showed up. She was there. You know, the whole band was like, "Hey, what's up? Good to see you again." And they got to that song, and they didn't call me up, and I thought, "Oh man, you know, she's not going to do it." And then they played 2 more songs, and the next song after that, she says, "I want to get Nakia up here right now," and I'm right here, and I hop up on stage. They're playing a song I've never heard. They've only played it, I found out later, 3 times. It's a brand new song. And it's a song that's called Are You Gonna Give Me All of Your Love? And I am on the spot, but immediately, again, this electric connection between the two of us, I just make up my own part. And we start singing the song together, and by the end of the song, we are holding the same microphone, falling down on our knees, looking at each other face to face, serenading each other in the song. The crowd went freaking nuts. It was great. So my heart was pounding. I don't even hardly remember most of that, but people were telling me about it. So, man, it was, there again, another really big blessing for me. We got a huge bump out of the press for it. It was such a great experience, but more than anything, I made friends with this person who is an amazing artist and such a sweet, down-to-earth person. And when we got ready to do our new press kit, I thought, well, you know, I know what she said that night on stage, but being an artist myself, I would hate for somebody to take something and put it out there without permission. So I wrote one of the guys in the band and said, hey, could you ask Sharon if she would mind me using this quote in my press kit? And later on that evening, I'm eating pizza, my phone rings, and there's a number I don't recognize. And I answer the phone, I say hello, and I got pizza in my hand. She says, is this Nakia? And I said, yeah. She goes, this is Sharon Jones. And I was like, oh my God, you know, I don't even know what to do. So I hop up, go outside so I can hear her. And she calls to tell me she got the email. She's totally cool with the quote. You know, they're actually doing that song in the studio for the new record. Of course, I want to do it with her, so I'm like, I'll fly up and be in it. So we'll see what happens. I've got her number. We'll see how it works out, you know.
Well, you're part of the whole South Austin scene. You're part of the Austin scene, and you fit right in, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
To talk to you.
Yeah, always. Thank you so much.
Good luck with Water to Wine.
Thank you so much. Well, it's out in stores, Waterloo, iTunes, CD Baby, and you can get it anywhere you need it. Or come to a show and get it. That's even better.